You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
This is a huge simulator of the moon, and here are some artists who are painting the moon on canvas, like this here. And they are recording this stuff, right? Here are the trails. There is a camera who is simulating approaching the moon.
What's up, beautiful people? Hope you guys are doing amazing. Welcome and welcome back to yet another video. It's your girl Kays. On today's video, we're going to be looking at the most interesting, creepy, and of course bizarre TikTok videos that will keep you up at night.
So now you're telling me that it has been approved in Japan, the ability to mix animal and human DNA, therefore splicing it and creating animal-human hybrids that are allowed to come to term. Now I'm gonna let you marinate that for just a second. Are you good? Are we ready to cook this chicken? Now, the reason behind it is it is supposed to potentially help with human organ donors and transplants. Therefore, if you needed a heart, a liver, a lung, a kidney, you would have access to that quicker, because if you know anything about that, it is a very lengthy process and a very challenging one for those who need organs. But there are some huge red flags and a lot of skepticism attached to it because they're not entirely sure what the human cells will potentially do to the animal brain. And then there's also the whole thing of religion. I swear every day I wake up, I'm like, what sci-fi movie did I just get a starring role on? What timeline did we just jump on? What universe are we currently residing in? So what do you think? Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Let me know, put it in the comments. And obviously this is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only, but we need to talk about this.
Check this out, these are contact lenses that let you see in the dark. They're like night vision goggles without needing the goggles. And it gets even crazier because these lenses let you see even when your eyes are completely closed. It's pretty insane. Now, this was a massive breakthrough by a research lab in China. And the way it all works is super interesting. The contacts are coated with special nanoparticles that absorb infrared light. That's the part of the spectrum our human eyes can't normally see. But here's the big innovation. Those nanoparticles can then convert that invisible light into visible waves that we can see, essentially letting us see in the dark. Now the contacts are clear, so you can still see normally, but you also have this super secret power to read hidden messages. And here's where it gets even crazier. The people that tried these said it was even easier to read secret messages when their eyes were closed. So in theory, someone could transmit an invisible message, and as long as you were facing in their direction, even if your eyes were closed, you could read it. Pretty insane. The Chinese lab said the first version of these is only gonna cost $200. And I don't know about you, but I could see these being everywhere.
Whoa. Cheating in exams will be on a different level. It kind of reminds me of the movie They Live, you know, where they put on glasses to see exactly what's there.
Is John Cena actually Jim Carrey? People are starting to believe Jim Carrey plays the role of many different celebrities behind a mask. Many people think that John Cena died in a car accident back in July 2016. This was also around the time when John Cena completely changed his look and suddenly had a Jim Carrey hint to him. Not just this, but his voice has slipped up many times, sounding much like Jim.
Or is it genius?
Some think that John is simply Jim Carrey wearing a bodysuit and is a fictional character. This would explain Jim Carrey disappearing from Hollywood in 2016 as well. They took this photo together after the conspiracies came out. This was believed to be nothing but a damage control photo so they could put this theory to rest. This would make sense why Jim Carrey starred in the movie The Mask and John starred in Ricky Stenicki. They were throwing it in our faces all along. Jim is believed to play more fictional characters of Hollywood than just Cena. Follow if you think this is insane.
Jim Carrey is gone, actually never existed.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Two types of silicone rubbers are used. The green silicone contains an oil that prevents the actor's body hair from adhering to it. The oilless blue silicone is then applied on top, and then both are wrapped in a temporary plaster jacket to cure. Once dry, the plaster cast is then carefully removed, and the mold is used to create a fiberglass mold that gets covered in clay, ready for the next step.
Wow. No, that is wild. I can't unsee it anymore. Damn. Guys, what do you think about this? Let me know.
In 1962, 7 years before they faked the moon landing, Operation Dominic began. A series of 31 missiles were shot straight up into the sky to test how high humans can actually reach. They quickly figured out, not far at all.
It seems that whenever they were shooting these missiles up into the sky, they were actually interacting with different layers of this plasma field or this electromagnetic phenomena, and it seems to have fluid-like properties. As it actually hits a certain portion of this force field, if you will, it begins to disperse and seek equilibrium based on the impedance of the electromagnetic layers.
Why is it when we review this footage that these things are exploding? It looks like they're hitting a barrier.
Testing the strength of the firmament, and they weren't able to penetrate it.
What's going on there? What is this? In my opinion, I think that they were trying to find a way to possibly get out. There's a firmament above us.
So everything is as above, so below. Obviously, many people are becoming aware that there's a firmament above that many people are now starting to realize is impenetrable.
No matter what you do, you can't go straight up in the air and keep going.
No!
Whoa. Oh my God.
We are actually going to do a flag ceremony here underwater as if we were on the moon.
How does it feel to be practicing for this?
I think this is amazing that we're even being able to do this right now. Here you go, Drew. Go ahead and plant the colors.
Grab that side.
That looks amazing.
How's this, Bruce? Look okay? Roger, that's a good site. Yes, indeed. Hey, now you're going off camera to the right. Good. Okay. Take a picture this way and then we'll swing it around so they can see it on the television. All right. Okay, we can see it.
A small step for man, a giant leap for mankind.
And cut! Good job, everyone. We have all the shots we need. The whole world is going to believe it. That's all for today. Ciao.
No astronaut ever went to the moon. No astronaut ever went more than 500 miles, 400 miles into space. And the reason is because there's a Van Allen belt, which is highly radioactive, that extends from 500 miles to 25,000 miles out in space. The reason E.T. put that Van Allen belt is there so we couldn't visit any place, because they don't want us contaminating the solar system or the moon or anything else until we complete our essential job here on Earth, which is to live with integrity, without envy, hate, or greed, and to express our love to our families. So they don't want us out there, and that's why they put the Van Allen belt. You would need 5 feet of lead to defeat the purpose of the radioactivity, and that's why they put it there, so that we could not get beyond. So all of the stories you hear about the moon are fake.
Any ill effects from the Van Allen radiation belts?
No. Now, I'm not sure we went far enough out to encounter the Van Allen radiation belt. Maybe we did. I don't know the distance to the Van Allen radiation belt, and if we did, it wasn't a problem.
The belts are 1,000 miles to 25,000 miles above the Earth.
Then we went right out through them.
No effects on your cells?
We didn't even know it. I don't think anybody, well, maybe somebody said you went through the radiation belt, but we didn't feel it inside, and we didn't get any, added radiation.
No strange occurrences?
Nothing like that.
Apparently, our dear astronaut doesn't know what the Van Allen belt is and how dangerous it is for space travel. Do you know the Van Allen radiation belt?
They didn't even hide it well. You've seen the sun stutter. You've watched it appear between cloud layers. You've seen it light the water with no source above it. But instead of asking how, you looked away. Why? Because once you see it, you can't go back. And most people? They'd rather keep their fake peace than face real war. This system was built on that fear. Not strength, not truth. Just generations of people too scared to question what's in front of their face. That's the real slavery. Defending the lie like it's your identity. That's why they keep winning. Not because they're powerful, because you won't let go. You'd rather lose with the crowd than stand alone with the truth. That's the part that breaks me. Y'all aren't just blind. You're loyal to your blindness. That's setting in the water. It's sad I have to say that.
Flat Earth, here we go. You decide. Dangyang Kunsen Grand Bridge in China is 100 miles long, okay? 102.4. There should be like 7,000 feet of curve, right? So why is this not curving? Hold on. Here's a lighthouse on the Flat Earthers' Earth. Here's a lighthouse on the Ball Earthers' Earth. Which one makes more sense, really and truly? Here's another one right here, man. This is what we see. Why do we believe this right here? Why? Also, why is it that all these civilizations depicted the Earth looking like this, and then you got NASA? I mean, come on, man. This right here is how the moon was obviously created, they say. A Mars-sized object hits Earth, does this, and makes this. Come on, man. And how about this one right here? Look, you remember that movie up top, dude? Negative 20 degrees Celsius. Negative 4 degrees. Negative 454 degrees. Why is it he's frozen and he's not? Oh, wait. Seriously now. Why is it that this on all globe model, all little globe things, it says globes are not meant for educational purpose, but only decorative purpose? Why would they put that? Really and truly, I'll wait. Now, I'm sure y'all have already talked all kinds of junk and this and that in the comments, but there's no reason for all that, man, okay? Just...
Sorry guys for interrupting, but before we continue, I made a video a while ago digging deeper into the flat earth theory and more proofs that we never went to the moon. So if you'd like to binge watch, the link is in the description. Don't forget to go check it out and judge for yourself. Okay, so yeah, let's keep watching.
Another 1500s map, family. Look at this one. And it got replaced in the 1900s by Globe Earth. When they say there is way more land, you better believe it. This is one of the ancient maps. And again, look how empty the new Earth is. Again, we see all the images missing land. Everywhere missing land. 3 years ago, I dropped the series of Antarctica and the land beyond the ice wall, showing way more land beyond Antarctica. You can see this map of Tartaria is showing Oceanicus Ethiopicus. This is the Atlantic Ocean, family. Again, we see the same, Oceanicus Ethiopicus, America and Africa. All of these maps are maps pre-slavery, pre-15. Again, family, another map, Tartaria. That's not all, family, because the proof is in the pudding. Look at this, family. And if we zoom in, we see mermaids and all kinds of mythological creatures, family. Look at this. And again, the blemishes, and again, family. And the next prediction is this map, family. You see this book? This is the book that we are reading out of. Tartaria, Full Hidden History Unlocked.
In 2009, the Dutch National Museum announced that a rock given to them from the United States that was supposed to be from the moon was actually just petrified wood. So are the rocks from the moon landings fake? NASA gave out moon rocks to over 100 different countries to have and run tests on and display, and this one from Amsterdam is the only one that showed anything other than moon. Obviously, they had to track down how this rock came into their possession. The museum acquired it when this man, Willem Dries Jr., passed away, and the rock was in his collection. He had received it in 1969 when the Apollo astronauts came back from the moon and immediately did a world tour. Anyway, the Apollo 11 astronauts visited, and on this trip, the US ambassador to the Netherlands gave this rock to the former prime minister, and at this point, he had been retired for 11 years. That ambassador says he doesn't know the details of where he got the moon rock, but that someone in the State Department gave it to him. Now we know that this isn't actually a moon rock, and that makes sense because this tour was 3 months after they got back to Earth, and NASA was not handing out their brand new moon rocks yet. They did, however, hand out a bunch of moon rocks later, and they still do actually to this day. It sounds to me like everyone wanted to impress each other by saying they had a moon rock, and then everyone believed each other. Which is interesting because I don't think that looks like a moon rock. That looks like petrified wood. And don't worry, the Netherlands did get an official moon rock just a couple years later.
How did President Nixon call the moon on a landline in 1969? Let's break down exactly how NASA says it worked. NASA's official explanation. NASA says Nixon's call to the Apollo 11 astronauts was a standard telephone call, but it was relayed through an advanced communication system. Here's how it supposedly worked. Nixon used a regular landline at the White House. The call was routed through NASA's Mission Control in Houston. Houston then transmitted Nixon's voice to the Goldstone Deep Space Communications Complex in California, which had an 85-foot radio antenna. The signal was beamed 239,000 miles to the moon, where the lunar module's VHF radio picked it up. Armstrong and Aldrin responded, and their voices were sent back to Earth the same way. Sounds simple, right? But here's why it shouldn't have worked. The problems with the moon phone call. 1. The missing signal delay. The moon is 239,000 miles away, and radio signals take 1.3 seconds one way, meaning Nixon's call should have had at least a 2.6-second delay in responses. Yet, in the broadcast, Armstrong and Aldrin respond instantly, faster than even 1960s transatlantic calls. Even if Mission Control relayed the call instantly, you'd still hear the delay in the astronauts' responses, but there's barely any. 2. The weak lunar transmitter. The lunar module's radio had only 12 watts of power, about the strength of a household Wi-Fi router. Transmitting a clear, two-way conversation across 239,000 miles with such low power? Highly unlikely. NASA's Deep Space Network needed massive radio dishes just to pick up Apollo signals, yet Nixon's voice came through crystal clear. 3. Earth's 1969 communication limitations. Long-distance calls in 1969 were unreliable. They had static, dropouts, and delays even across the US. Transatlantic calls required undersea cables or early satellites, which still had long pauses and interference. But somehow, Nixon's call to space, and even greater distance, worked perfectly with no issues. Before, radio interference and ionosphere distortion signals from the moon had to pass through Earth's ionosphere, which causes distortion and signal loss. But Nixon's call had no static or interference. Solar radiation and cosmic noise should have affected the transmission, yet the audio is flawless. Number 5. A perfect two-way conversation. The Apollo system supposedly allowed full duplex communication, meaning both parties could talk at the same time, like a modern cell phone. But even military radios in 1969 often used push-to-talk half-duplex, meaning only one person could speak at a time. Somehow, Nixon's call functioned like a perfect two-way conversation, despite the extreme distance and limitations of 1960s tech. So, could Nixon really have called the moon?
Werner von Braun.
This is Werner von Braun, former head of NASA, and he's at the set of Apollo. This is the tombstone of Werner von Braun, and look at this, there is Psalms 91 of the Bible. Isn't it funny that the head of NASA has got this on his tombstone? The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. This is a huge simulator of the moon, and here are some artists who are painting the moon on canvas. Like this here. and they are recording this stuff, right? Here are the trails. There is a camera who is simulating approaching the moon. There. Filming the lunar surface. You know, they are spraying and painting the canvas, the huge canvas. Here, at the top, right? And they are driving this way along, filming this. Like this here. Right here, they are driving along.
If the Earth is flat, why do you believe that people have lied? Or for example, with the moon landing, what are NASA getting out of it by pretending?
So
what are they hiding?
The first thing to remember is, when a crime is committed, right, do we approach that crime by first asking, why would someone kill someone? Someone's been murdered. Do you approach the scene by saying, well, why would they kill them? Or do you approach the scene by saying, let's look at the evidence, let's look at the facts first, and see if a crime has been committed. Right? Let's look at that first. And then after that, let's try and work out the motive. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no, that's definitely fair to say.
Right? So that's the first part.
Yeah.
So I don't know why people would lie. I don't know why they lied about the moon landings. I can't say for a fact. I don't know why they're doing what they're doing. But what I do know is we were lied to about certain things. Right? And then after that we can start theorizing. That's when it becomes a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
So let's look at the facts first.
Yeah.
And then we add the conspiracy theory on top of the facts. You mentioned NASA. Do you know how much NASA makes in a day from taxpayers' money? You know how much they get?
How much?
53 million a day. Last year NASA was given 20 billion just to exist, to show us pictures of space. You know, what are they doing with 20 billion a year?
We don't even get a selfie out of it.
We don't even get a selfie out of it. Brilliant point, right? So that's one. Money, power, control, right? If a handful of people know the secrets of the world, right, and the rest of the world is ignorant, knowledge is power. You have control over them because they don't know where they are, they don't know who they are, they don't know where they came from. You feed them lies, you can manipulate and control them. They've been flat earthers for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Right? The only difference is, before the internet, if I'd become a flat earther, the only people I would have been able to tell are the people at the pub and the people around me. No one else. Right? So that information wouldn't have grown.
Yeah.
It would have stayed within little pockets of people all over the world. But now because of the internet, I can make a video, I can do some research, I can find a book from the 1800s about flat earth, I can do an audiobook, put it on the internet, and 1 million people can read it. So 1 million people all of a sudden are going, whoa, it could be flat, and they're researching it.
Yeah.
Right? And then they do their own research, and then they post something up, and that's another 1 million people.
Mm.
And it grows, and it grows, and it grows. So I'm not saying all the 1 million people will go, oh yeah, I believe it, but even if 10 go, oh, I'm going to look into this, that's 10 people researching it.
Yeah.
10 people are going to share it. And it just grows and grows and grows.
Could I prove, if I could, that the Earth is round without flying you to space?
Okay, here's a good one, which is a challenge I've put out to NASA when I was on ITV the first time.
Yeah.
To NASA, all the space agencies, I said, just do one thing.
Yeah.
Turn the Hubble telescope around.
Yeah.
That's in deep dark space. Face it on Earth.
Yeah.
The Earth. Show us the Earth spinning.
But that can still be edited.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Show us aeroplanes flying underneath. Zoom in to an aeroplane flying underneath the ball. Zoom in to people walking upside down from distance. Then I'll start thinking, hang on a minute, okay, maybe I can believe it. And if that looks realistic and you can zoom into someone walking upside down, I'll start saying, okay, maybe I'm wrong here. But I guarantee you they won't, because the moment
I don't even know if the lenses can do that.
Well, we can zoom in to the moon, 238,000 miles away. We've got technology to go to these places. We've got technology to catch light billions of miles away. Why can't we just go 100,000.
Take a big selfie.
Yeah, take a big selfie. Absolutely.
Or everybody.
Absolutely.
But there is pictures of the Earth.
All CGI. So people say, "Oh, you flat earther, where's the edge?" I don't know. I don't know because I don't have the means to go and explore the edge.
Would you, if you could?
Of course I would.
So if I gave you £100 million today,
man, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it tomorrow.
Do you think you could prove that the Earth?
Of course we can.
Is flat?
But here's another thing: we're not allowed to.
Why not?
Right?
Well, just go to the edge, like the Truman Show.
We're not allowed to. There's something called the Antarctic Treaty.
Yeah.
So on the flat Earth model, just like the UN logo, which I'll show you in a minute of the model, the South Pole is a ring of ice that is encircling the plane of the Earth.
Yeah.
That's holding all the water and everything together. Right? So a lot of flat earthers say that is the edge of the Earth. We can't get past that wall. The wall is keeping us in here.
Yeah.
Right? And to me that doesn't make sense. Like, so what's beyond the edge? Oh, we don't know. Don't worry about that. Let's just stick to what we can prove. And I said, well, we've got to be able to answer that question at least, even if it's a theory.
Yeah.
So to me it makes sense that there's possibly more land beyond that. Other civilizations. What we might call extraterrestrials. Extraterranes of land.
So more land past the edge?
Past the edge. There's more land. Who's to say that the flat Earth isn't infinite? When people say to me, show me the edge of the flat Earth, I say, show me the edge of the universe. Why are you assuming there is an edge? What if the flat Earth goes forever? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So that's my theory, that I don't think there is an edge. I think it goes on for a long, long way out.
Do your own research about the Earth you live in, trust your eyes, and open your mind.
For those that don't think that there's a possibility of the Earth being flat, I just have one question for you. If you found yourself as the only person on this planet, what would you do? How would you survive? Like, who would show you how to survive if you're the only man on this planet? So this is now you go back to just being like animals, you know. This is when you go back to using your senses, because basically that's the only thing that you're sure about, your senses. Like, that's your body is the only map that you basically have on this planet. Like, anybody else can come with their own theories, they can tell you whatever, they can tell you they saw things and whatever, but the only thing that you know or you're 100% sure is the God within you. So you're going to start behaving like animals and depending on yourself and your senses. So this is the same logic we should be using when we are starting to question things. Like, how do you interpret things for yourself? Like, who are you before the world told you who you are? Or what do you believe before someone else came to sell you the idea? And this is why I say, question everything. Question everything, because there's truth in everything as much as there's lies in everything. But the best way to ever do anything is just trusting yourself, trusting your gut. When you look in the sky, what do you see? What do you see without someone else telling you what to look at? You feel me? Like, on this planet, the same with animals, we are breathing the same air, eating the same food, existing, you know, like, it's only the human species that has so many things going on. Like, animals don't go to school, they don't go to work, they don't, you know, like, they just live naturally how they're meant to live on this planet. But look at us. We've created so many things to distract us. There's school, there's religion, there's this and that, there's society pressures, and there's these expectations that we've put on ourselves that are so unnecessary. Honestly, they are so unnecessary. But you know what? I can never tell you what to see. I can never tell you where to look. But all I can tell you is trust yourself. Trust your instinct, trust your guts, trust your body, trust your own judgment. So when you look at the sky, what do you see? Because whatever you see without people's influence, no, that's the reality, that's the truth, you know, because nobody has figured it out yet. So yeah, so let me know what you think. Do you think the world is flat, or do you think it's round? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section.
This is the thing. It's the secret. You already have everything. You already are everything. Yeah, literally. In every parallel universe possible. It's just this is what determines the frequency you tune into, like a radio. And that's what determines what you tune into. So if I perceive tonight as a shit night because it's, you know, not playing the music I want, whatever, that perception's going to impact the way I physically experience tonight. Whereas if I just change my perception, the physical experience is
Complete
different.
placebo effect.
Yeah, the same night is happening, the same physical reality is happening, the same things are
It's
happening.
how you perceive it.
My perception changes how I experience it, and you can do the exact same thing. But that's why belief is so important. People talk about, oh, yeah, I believe in myself, but you still doubt yourself, so that's not true belief.
Yeah,
True
they're
belief
chatting
is
shit.
like, you do not even consider for a second in your brain any other reality.
China is battling a virus called Chikungunya with drones and insecticides. More than 7,000 people have been infected so far, and now the U.S. has issued a warning to travelers, not just for China, but for Bolivia and much of the Indian Ocean region. So what is Chikungunya? It is a virus first identified in Africa in the 1950s that spread by mosquitoes. And if it bites and infects you, you could be hit with severe joint pain, muscle pain, headaches, fever, and fatigue. So Chinese authorities are trying to keep it from spreading further. This virus has already been reported in at least 13 cities in southern Guangdong province, this neighbors Hong Kong. And it is surging after once-in-a-century rainfall across China's south. Officials have told people to get rid of stagnant water, like in flower pots and tubs where mosquitoes might breed, or face fines of up to 10,000 yuan. That's about $1,400. They're also releasing giant elephant mosquitoes that can eat the smaller mosquitoes that carry this virus, and they're releasing certain species of fish that eat the mosquitoes' larvae. China's foreign ministry spokesman says that the current situation is preventable, treatable, and controllable. And we know that Beijing has learned strict and fast containment lessons fighting the SARS epidemic in 2003 and the COVID epidemic since 2019 that went from Wuhan around the world. Both epidemics, which I lived through myself, working, living, and quarantining in China. If you're going to China or any other place that has this virus, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control says to use insect repellent, wear long-sleeved shirts and pants, and stay in places with air conditioning or at least that have screens on your windows and on your doors. Death from chikungunya is rare. Most people do recover in a week with rest and rehydration.
No, not again.
Allow me to get to remind whoever is watching this video how to see their aura. I'm reminding you because you already know, you've just forgotten how to do it. Now, I'm going to give you 2 sure ways in which you're going to see and feel an aura. Now, you can decide to see yours or another person's or feel yours and another person's. But somebody might be asking, what is this aura this guy is talking about? Now, first of all, aura is the energetic field that surrounds you. Let's say you are inside this balloon. The balloon is like your aura. Now, it protects you spiritually, it protects you mentally, it protects you emotionally. It also protects your health and well-being. You walk in a room and then everybody looks at you. They've felt your aura. Or you're seeing somebody and you're like, they're so off. That is their aura you're feeling. Now, when it gets weakens over time, when it gets weak over time, diseases penetrate you, bad energies penetrate you, people talk about you and they just, you see, they just affect you in a way. You're always angry, you're always worried. Now you have a problem in your aura. But how do you get to see aura? Now the first one, we humans, we are like light. We emit some tiny quantities of light. They are called biophotons. We have something called a biofield and a bioelectric magnetic field that surrounds us. Now, since we are light, how about the first way you can get to see aura is the light. This is how you do it. You've seen a camera, right? A camera has the ability to focus. Let's say something like this. The camera can focus on this and then blur me. It can also blur me and then focus on this. Or it can focus on me and then blur this. It can also blur the entire thing. Your eyes can do that. Why am I showing you this? We are going to use it to see the aura. Now, try holding a stick in front of you or anything. Then use your eyes to blur the background. And then, now, sharpen whatever you're holding. And then, do another thing. Now, blur this one. And then sharpen what's behind you. You'll realize your eyes can do it. And that is where the camera idea stole it from, your eyes. Now, if you can do this, now this is the exercise of seeing an aura. We're going to use light, since light is the easiest way to see aura first. You're going to train with light, then you've got to do it with another person. Now, try being near a bulb or any light, any form of light. Then there should be like quite a distance between you and the bulb. Maybe like, let's say 2 meters plus. Shouldn't be too close, or maybe the farthest the better, but not too far. Then I want you to blur the entire thing, blur the entire background. Focus on the light, blur the entire background. The more you blur, the light itself will seem like it's moving outwards. Then you'll see 7 layers of colors. 7 layers of colors. Now it depends with the bulb, but mostly the outer one will be blue, and you'll see the energies coming through it. Now practice this on light more and more. Remember, we emit biophotons, so the better you get at it with light, the more you'll be good at it with seeing it from humans, from your friends, and from you. We can see these things. We used to do them as kids, but now people have forgotten even now what these things were or why we were doing them. Now try focusing. That way you get to see the aura of that light. But then now living things have got a different aura. Now the same energy, the same trick you use with your eyes to blur everything, use it on someone. Maybe go in a dark room, then put a white background. Put your hands there and try blurring for like 30 seconds to 1 minute. Take it easy, check on your breath. After some time you'll see a glow around. Your aura is either strong on green, it's either strong on blue, it's either strong on red, violet. There's even black auras. And in fact, mostly your aura can be your favorite color. Now that is how to see your aura. The second method is to sense your aura. Can you remember, guys, we talked about chi energy? You're putting your hands like in a curved way, like you're feeling a ball in between, and then you're doing this and you're feeling the energy between your hands. Now we're going to sense energy. This has been used in energy healing and things like that. Even guys who've got like you've got issues with drugs, you've been trying to do drugs, you've been trying to quit your addiction. People have different addictions. Energy healing has been used to help quit addictions, any addiction that you've ever had. Now, instead of doing this, your hands super straight, and then sense the energy, feel the tingling, feel it in your entire body. Now move them apart and bring them closer together. This one you should do extra slow. Take it easy. And then after some time, try it with rocks, try it with plants and living things. You'll realize that you can sense energy. Now try it with somebody. Try doing it near someone. You start sensing their energies. When you strengthen this intuitively, you will sense people's aura. Somebody is passing and you already know the kind of aura they have. Now you will be like, this one is a sweet person, this one is a nagging kind of person, now this one is a loving one. And then you'll be like, nah, this one looks like somebody who's just gonna bring me chaos, so let me step away from them, or let me make a friend. You get? Now that is how you get to see your aura, guys. That is how you sense auras. Try it. If you don't try it, how will you know it? Anyway, when that's all said and done, I want to tell you guys to love yourself, love the next person, and love Mother Earth. And smile, guys, smile.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching up to this far. If you've enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and guys, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Also, thank you so much for the love and support you've been showing me. I love you so much, guys, and I'll catch you on my next video. Adios.